As you can see, there are some files by default. They are installed because during the project creation, I chose the default ones. For instance, TypeScript. You can see tsconfig file here, or tailwind, or some other file like eslint. And this template that we have created the project based on also contains like gitignore, and of course package.json. And inside this one, you can see all the dependencies of the project, and also the way that we can run the project, and some other information about our app. And what else? Next.config file, it has some configurations about our app. Later we come over and explain different configurations that we can have here in order to make some changes. And then we have a few folders here, node modules. I think no need to explain. It has all the dependencies installed here. And then we have public and src. In the public, we put all the static files that we want to serve them directly. You might have images, CSS files, I don't know, whatever, PDF. You put them here and you address them into your project directly. For instance, to address one of these files in your code, if you have, I don't know, if you have an A, you can say href equal to file.svg to address this one, right? You can directly address from the root / then a path here. And then what else do we have? We have src, and the idea of src folder is that we put all the codes in our src, everything that we want to code or we want to import, or we want to make some changes. All the application pages go here. All the components, we put them in the src folder. And you might be wondering why there are some static files like CSS or this icon or fonts here, why they haven't put in the public. And the reason is that Next.js tries to like pre-process some of these files, and some of them are meaningful actually. For instance, this CSS file, if you take a look, you can see they've imported some stuff from Tailwind, and it should be post-processed by Next.js, and it tries to convert this global.css to something that has all the CSS, all the required CSS classes from Tailwind. This is why we have put it here. And also for Favicon, actually there are some more files that we can put here. Favicon.ico is one of them, and as soon as Next sees this file, it tries to add it into our head of the HTML document. We can have other different files such as robot.txx or sitemap here. They are meaningful names, naming conventions for Next.js, and as soon as it sees them, it tries to add them to the header, and based on the file itself, it tries to behave differently with them. And then you see there are some other files that you can have, such as environment variables. You can put them at the root level because it's not a source code, it's not a public asset. We want to keep them at the root level, and the convention in the Next.js project says that you have to put them at the root level. And finally, we have this .next folder. First of all, it's something that ignored from the gitignore, and you can remove it. That's okay. But for running the project, Next.js tries to compile our source code into something runnable, right? Because we are running in TSX. How come Node.js or browser should understand these files? They have to be compiled to something else. As soon as I try to run the project, let's try it. npm run dev. It creates the folder again, and inside this folder, it has some files that are required to running the project. For instance, you can see server, and if I open it, there are some JS files that will be run by Node.js and some other cache files. Next.js tries to cache some stuff as much as possible. You can see it here, and some static files and some other files. Okay, I don't want to go deeper here because we might come back here and explain some of them in the future, but for now, let's keep it simple. And I hope you get the idea. As a nutshell, everything global, we put them at the root level. All the source codes go here, and all the static files, we have to put them in the public folder.